Hello, everybody. Episode 9. Episode 9. Episode
Whoa.
10 Eve.
The penultimate single digit. No, the ultimate single
Ultimate
digit.
single
The final.
digit. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, my. I'm excited to move into double digits. But before we can move into double, we got to finish off single. I am Chris Creamer of SportsLogos.Net. I am joined by Robo Paul Caputo. Beep Bop Paul Caputo. How are you doing today?
Chris, I have discovered an amazing new way to write articles for SportsLogos.Net. You are never going to believe it. It's
Lay it on me.
watch my productivity just sail, Chris. Watch my productivity sail. Chris, I've been writing for SportsLogos.Net since 2014. I've written more than 1,000 articles. People love to comment. Sometimes, we'll get like, that fact is wrong. And, this logo is terrible. And there's a lot of comments out there that do not get under my skin. But you texted me last night, Chris. It feels like it was like the wee hours of the morning. I think it was probably only like 8:30 at night. Just finishing up the season 1 finale of Your Friends and Neighbors. And my girlfriend Amy is sitting next to me and she's like, what is going on? Like, why are you not paying attention to the show? And I was just like, you will not believe what happened. For the listener at home, Chris is sipping from his coffee right now. Coffee or tea?
It is coffee.
It is coffee. I couldn't remember if you were a coffee
with
fan.
creamer in it, of course.
Very good.
Appropriately so.
I
I
have
get
oat milk.
residuals for every time someone has creamer. I get residuals.
I'm hoping for a big sponsorship from Oatly oat milk, so that because
Oh,
that's what I have in mind.
right.
I want to
Not
acknowledge your
the
joke just now.
oat milkers.
Creamer in your coffee, and now there's coffee in the creamer.
Oh,
Anyway, Chris,
back on track there, Paul.
you've got me all riled up. I didn't realize we were going
I'm
to get
s-
into this right away here, but here we are. You alerted me to a comment from a reader who had created a burner account to accuse me of using ChatGPT to write an article for SportsLogos.net, an article that I spent a considerable amount of time on because it had a lot of like interesting layers. And I was all in a tizzy, Chris. And so I'm just saying here for the record right now, I have never and will never use ChatGPT to write articles for SportsLogos.net.
Well, let's be honest. If one were to use ChatGPT to write a minor league baseball article, it would just use Paul Caputo's articles from SportsLogos.net anyways. So
Yeah, right. And that's the problem with ChatGPT is it's out there scrubbing other people's intellectual property.
absolutely. So
So
I can communicate with you in binary numbers if you want, if that makes you
this
more comfortable.
this was a username. It has no history except for this one comment, and the username is 3 letters and 3 numbers. So it's one of those letters, numbers, usernames.
It could
Yeah.
be ChatGPT accusing you of using
Oh my
ChatGPT.
goodness.
Wouldn't that be ironic?
It's the robots. It's Skynet have come back from the future to accuse me of using ChatGPT.
It's the AI witch hunt, and Paul got caught up in it.
Uh,
Don't worry, I won't let them burn you, Paul. You are safe behind me.
Here is an interesting thing about this, Chris, is I will post articles that have logos in them that people will say that looks like it was generated by AI to me.
Mhm.
And I have only on one occasion ever on the website actually confirmed that a team used AI to generate a logo. And we included that in the article at that point. I have never actually put in an article, hey, this looks like AI, if I didn't know for sure that it was actually AI. So I'm very careful not to accuse teams of using AI, even though some of them would probably just volunteer it right up.
I mean, privately you accuse them. of AI
Privately,
to me.
and when people comment on if I post an article and people are like, that's AI slop, I'll be like, could be.
Hmm. It could be. We don't
Yeah.
know, so we're not going to say it. But
Right, right. Because we're
we'll let you
journalists,
look
Chris,
at
and we
it.
have ethics.
We, I like to pretend I'm a journalist sometimes. I pretend. I shouldn't say pretended, but I tried to cross the border into the U.S. about 10 years ago, right about now, and they asked why I was coming to the U.S. and I said, "Well, I'm a journalist. I'm coming to write an article about the new MLB uniforms for this year," and they detained me.
Wow.
Yeah, they said you don't have a journalist visa, and I was like, "Oh, okay, never mind then." And they said, and I quote, "You can't just come into our country and write about whatever you want." And I thought, here we go. And I was like, "I'm just a blogger," and they let me in. Oh
That
man,
is too much. And I think you can come into this country, at least you could until recently, come into this country and write about whatever you want. That is pretty wild. Yeah.
So now I don't play journalist anymore. I'm just a blogger, everybody.
Have I ever told you about the
Uh,
time my baseball palooza guys and I uh, went into Canada in a van with no tags?
do tell. This is the confessions episode. I like it.
Baseball Palooza is a road trip that I take with college buddies. There's 9 or 10 of us every year, pick a different part of the country. We were in Seattle and the surrounding area a couple of years ago. For whatever reason, we could not find like a normal like 15 passenger van in Seattle. And so we ended up going with like one of these like Airbnb, but for vans. So we get there, we all fly into Seattle. We take the shuttle to this hotel. We pick up the van. They send a code. The van opens up. We throw our stuff in. We start driving. We get to the border and we pull up to customs. And there is a lovely, kind woman who is the agent, the Canadian agent, as we're crossing into Canada. I want to point out, just put this in your back pocket for now, that one of my friends, Ron, is black. He's the only black guy in a van full of white dudes, basically, right? So, anyway, stack up the passports, hand over the passports. She checks through all of them, hands them all back, and she says, "Are you aware that your van does not have tags?" And I was like, "Excuse me?" And she says, "No, it just says, there's like a tag that says Mercedes Benz. That's it." And so, of course, this was because we were not careful when we picked it up. The
Yeah.
contract like didn't have the VIN, didn't have a license plate number, none of this stuff. So like we
Wow.
text the van company, right? We text the van company and we're like, "Hey, the van doesn't have tags. Where's the tags?" And they're like, "Good question." Long story short, she says, "Look, I'm going to let you go, but don't get pulled over." So we're like, "Gosh, all right, thanks." We go, we have a lovely time in Vancouver. We don't get pulled over. We had our poutine, we had our donuts at what's it?
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons.
Oh.
Sorry, Grace, I couldn't remember Tim Hortons. I blanked. All I could think was Baskin Robbins. Get our donuts from Tim Hortons, go to the ball game. Absolute fantastic experience. Next day though, we're driving back. The guys are getting increasingly nervous about what are we going to say when we go through customs. They're devising all these schemes like, "Oh, we're going to tell them that we had tags and the tags got stolen." And I was just like, "Guys, shut up," right? Like, we'll just tell them the truth. Like, we rented this van, we didn't realize it didn't have tags, and we're trying to go back in because we got a game in Pasco, Washington. We got to go see the Tri-City Dust Devils. We
That
pull
old
up.
excuse.
That old excuse, right? So we pull up. This time it's like this sort of stern looking young dude. And he says, "Are you aware that your van does not have tags?" This time I was like, "Yes, I am. We just became aware of that yesterday." So the dude's like, "Okay, let me check the VIN and I'll run the numbers." And he does that and it's fine. And he says, "Okay, you guys go ahead." So we pull ahead, hyper aware of all of, like the security and police and, people with guns. It was probably like 30 seconds to a minute of just like dead silence. It felt like 20 minutes. And Ron, again, the one black dude, is sitting behind me as we're pulling away scot-free, having gone into and out of Canada in a van with no tags. And he goes, "Y'all, white privilege is real."
Absolutely. Yeah. Well,
And we all just broke up laughing, maybe laughed a little too hard because like it made us all think like, what if that situation had been reversed, right? Like that was sort of a poignant moment. Anyway, we had a great time in your home country of Canada. I think I actually texted you. I was like, "Hey, we're in Vancouver." And you were like, "That's 3,000 miles away."
yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right in the neighborhood. Thanks.
Yeah,
Neighborhood with a
exactly.
U. Thanks, Paul.
Chris, there's things to talk about on the site. You have an article. You are the Major League Baseball correspondent for SportsLogos.net, and the New York Yankees, America's team. they're they're in the news. They have an alternate uniform for the first time in their history. This story is really something here. This the New York Yankees designate first alternate uniform in team history. Asterisks aplenty in this article. What's going on with this?
Okay, so here's the story. During the off seasons, I am privy to certain information that I have good relationship with certain leagues, certain teams. They trust information to me, and I don't spill the beans on these things. So this Yankees thing I knew about December, January, and one, I didn't want to spill the beans because, well, then no more information for Chris and SportsLogos.net. And two, sometimes teams make these official designations and then never do anything with them.
Hmm.
So it's not worth really stirring the pot. Like the Dodgers with their blue alternate, they designated that a couple of years ago, I believe, and they didn't start wearing it until this year. I figured this Yankees thing was something similar because why would the Yankees ever wear an alternate uniform? And then I was alerted to the story in The Athletic where apparently the Yankees players were in revolt. We need an alternate uniform and we need it now.
Hmm.
So the Athletic said, the Yankees don't have an alternate jersey. They're going to wear their road batting practice uniforms. And I'm reading this going, no, no, they have an alternate jersey and it's their road batting practice uniform. What are we doing? Like, why are we doing this song and dance, pretending that they don't already have an alternate uniform? And legitimately, the Athletic probably doesn't know because I doubt they have access to the official league style sheets like I do. So I thought, you know what? Now is the time for me to write this story. And I'm going to put this out here. The Yankees are being goofy here. They're being silly. They're pretending that they don't have an alternate uniform. They want to introduce this in a way that I guess makes the traditionalists feel like the players stood up and did so. No, none of that happened. The Yankees have an alternate uniform. It's the jersey they wore in spring training, navy blue with New York across the chest in silver with white trim. And are they ever going to wear it? I don't know. It sounds like the players were sort of, teeing us up for it, so it's not so much of a big shock. I would be stunned if by the time this episode is released, the Yankees haven't already worn it on the road. They're on
Hmm.
the road right now. They're going to be playing three in Texas coming up. I expect them to wear it in one of those games. Just get it out of the way. Maybe a weekday game when nobody's watching and they can sort of dip their toe into the alternate water. But beyond all that, the idea that the Yankees have an alternate uniform, I think, is one worth discussing. This is the team, right? This is the team that would never do anything like that. Turn ahead the clock. George Steinbrenner famously said, "We are wearing our turn ahead the clock uniforms all the time, anyways." And he's right, because turn ahead the clock actually took place in 2021, and the Yankees were still wearing the same uniform. So why now? Why are they wearing an alternate uniform now? The same year that the Dodgers started wearing an alternate uniform, colored uniform for the first time in 25, 26 years. The same year that the Tigers added colored uniforms for the first time in 30 years. Now the Yankees are adding a colored uniform. I have no confirmation on this, but it feels like maybe something mandated by Nike or MLB. Every team needs a colored uniform for reasons unknown, maybe just for sales, who knows. But it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right, the idea that I'm going to turn on a ball game the Yankees are playing and they're not wearing gray or they're not wearing pinstripes. That's just a part of baseball, right? It's like when the Montreal Canadiens wore powder blue uniforms for a couple of games that one year. How do you feel about this, Mr. Robot?
Well, first of all, I'm noticing a lot of M dashes in this article, Chris, so I'm deeply suspicious. When I said that this article was full of asterisks, this essentially spring training uniform that they're talking about trotting out as a supposed alternate looks very Yankees-ish to me. Like I even wonder like how much are we really going to notice it except for the purists who are, it's not like they're putting names on their jersey, right? Like it's not like
No.
there's like something that's going to be super noticeable bucking the tradition here.
It's not like they're putting an ad patch on their sleeve or anything, or a Nike swoosh right on the front. Nothing like
Right?
that. That would be ridiculous.
No, no, no. That would infuriate the traditionalists, right? Like, so there's no way they would ever do that. I guess the thing that I sort of reacted to in this article was the notion that the players somehow had some sort of say in this. And, our experience has been, at least, my experience when I've had the opportunity to, on a couple of occasions to talk to major league players, that they actually do seem to have opinions, except in rare cases, they have opinions about what they're wearing out there on the field. And
Mhm.
I'm interested in the notion if it's legit that the players were pushing for this and it's something that the players wanted, because that to me feels like part of the story, right? Like that the players care about what they're wearing out there.
I believe that the players asked to wear this uniform, but I dispute the idea that the only reason the uniform exists as an option is because the players are suddenly pushing for it. Considering
Right.
that I did see it officially designated, 4 or 5 months ago. This has already been settled, it's done. They've probably been seeing it in their locker. They probably heard that, yeah, this is in the rotation. They can wear it, and they're just like, can we just wear it already and get it over with? But no,
It,
it's officially designated as an alternate. Like, let's stop pretending.
in your article, you quoted our friend Todd Radom. He pointed to the fact that the Yankees have not won the World Series since 2009, which is obviously a bad memory for me. Thank you, Todd Radom. And that maybe there's the opportunity to shake things up a little bit. Like maybe that this jersey would be an opportunity to shake things up. I'm curious about that, right? Because Todd in his book had several stories about the Seattle Mariners like changing their logos to shake up the luck of the franchise. And so I'm
Mhm.
wondering, you're a logo guy, right? Like you're a uniform guy. Is this something that teams do? Will they be like, "Oh man, it's been 17 years since we won the World Series. Let's make some changes in the uniform."
Sure, absolutely. Like sometimes a uniform's associated with bad memories
Yeah.
or good memories, right? Like the Broncos, they got rid of their popular Orange Crush uniforms because they hadn't won a Super Bowl, and they immediately won two with their new set. Now they're stuck with that set forever, right? Because they win Super Bowls in them. Or the Penguins did the opposite. They won back-to-back cups, immediately changed their logo and uniforms, and then didn't win any,
Mm,
changed back, and then won three more. So, like just recently, going back to my Blue Jays here,
yeah.
they were in a bit of a losing streak in September last year, and their closer, former Philly Jeff Hoffman, said, "Hey, can we wear the white panel caps?" And they put them on, and they went on like a 5-6 game winning streak, ran that streak into the playoffs, and then went to Game 7 of the World Series, as we all know. And I noticed a trend with the Jays, and I'm sure other teams probably do this, is they will keep the same cap or the same jersey, home road exclusions where applicable, as long as they're winning. So if
Mm,
they win a game, they're going to come out wearing the same uniform the next day, same cap, same jersey. I'm noticing this pattern,
mm.
and it goes all the way back to last September when they started on that bit of a run that took them into the postseason. And yeah, it's players definitely care now. And I think it's a younger generation thing with these players, right? These guys playing, they're all way younger than us. They were all kids in the mid 2000s, 2010s, which is hard to wrap our heads around. Most of the players in the league now are younger than SportsLogos.Net.
That's wild.
Uh, yeah, so they grew up in an era where uniforms and logos were actually a thing that people cared about, where alternate jerseys were a thing, alternate caps. So yeah, they care now. So like when we talk about how we interviewed Diamondbacks players 10, 12 years ago, and they all said, "I don't care."
Right.
And, they care now.
Right, right, right.
And every team has a way to decide what uniform they're wearing that day, especially in baseball. And it's usually we let the pitcher decide. We let the oldest guy on the team decide. We
Yeah.
so it's not just the equipment managers out there picking. The players actually have a say. Sometimes they have a vote. What are we going to wear today, boys? So there's actually some level of thought or care that goes into it.
How I've always wondered this. How do you know how long before the game starts they have to actually decide what uniform they're wearing?
I do not, but I want to know.
Yeah, you've got a lot of contacts with Major League Baseball, Chris. I think maybe time to ask that question. I'm curious.
Yeah, like is it, you have to lock in a starting pitcher at a certain time. Do you have to lock in a uniform chase at a certain time?
Right. And we know
Yeah.
that they promote, Friday home games are going to be City Connects and that sort of thing. So there are some that are obviously pre-designated, but I'm
Hmm.
curious, like for the Diamondbacks, right? Like if they've got nine different uniforms and it's just the pitcher gets to decide, can he decide, 20 minutes before game time?
Can they go out there for batting practice and then change their uniforms once, like once the lineup card is handed out? Is that it? Like
Right.
what's going on here? Paul, we need answers.
Yeah, let's get those contacts. Let's get those Major League Baseball inside contacts on the horn here. We need to know. Stay tuned for episode 10 where Chris will have this
I
answer.
I sense I'm going to get 30 emails back saying we don't know what you're talking about.
We only have one uniform.
Sorry.
Before we move on from this, the Yankees and their being so beholden to tradition and this steadfast refusal to do anything interesting. Like the A's are not doing a City Connect because they don't know what their home city is.
They don't
The
have a
Yank
city.
exactly. The
Yeah.
Yankees don't do a City Connect just seemingly out of spite, like, or just pretentiousness, or like, what is this pretentiousness that we're getting out of the Yankees, and like, how do we stop it?
I don't think it needs to be stopped. I like
No.
that there's one team out there that is like home, road, period, at least up until now. But like, I just sort of like that there's still some of that traditional consistency. We have 29 other teams that we can, I guess, 28 other teams that are going to wear City Connect uniforms, 29 other teams that are going to wear wacky uniforms. At least we know what the Yankees are wearing every night. We're having mashed potatoes for dinner. That's great. It's fine. It's good. I wish there was some NHL teams that didn't have alternate uniforms or just one. I just need one, and I'm fine with it being the Yankees because I hate the Yankees. So I'm I'm cool with it being them. They can be the team that has no fun, and I have a feeling their fans are fine with it too.
Mm,
And really, that's all that matters is what their fans feel like. So
yeah.
I don't think their fans want any fancy uniforms. I don't think the ownership wants any fancy uniforms. I don't think they need them. I could see ownership wanting something new just because, you could buy a Yankees jersey 40 years ago and it's still
Right.
good.
This is the reason that the Madison Mallards have like 9 alternate identities that they play in every year, right? Like it's a collegiate summer level baseball team, and yet they're, constantly in the news with all their alternate identities.
Are you
Chris,
comparing the Madison Mallards with the New York Yankees?
I am definitely. I think the Madison Mallards are the New York Yankees of the
Of
Northwoods League.
Is this opposite day?
It is a little bit opposite day, right? They're the Madison Mallards are the Arizona Diamondbacks of the Northwoods League. It's like every weekend they have a different uniform. So,
Oh, here, I have a trivia question for
oh,
you.
ooh, trivia question. Okay,
Yeah, okay. So, what is the only Major League Baseball team? This is City Connect excluded, okay? I'm just
okay,
talking
okay,
home road alternate spring
yeah,
training. What is the only Major League Baseball team that has less than four officially designated uniforms? And I'm going to give you a hint here. The Yankees, their home spring training jersey counts as one of their four jerseys.
okay. It seems like the answer should be the Yankees after this whole conversation.
Right. It's not
Um,
the Yankees. I'm
it's
telling you it's
so
not.
it's not the Yankees. I'm gonna go north of the border, Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, the Toronto Blue Jays have like six.
I was trying to think of why you'd be asking me this question. Like what the it's not the
It's because it's one
Phillies.
that you wouldn't expect. It's one that you wouldn't expect. That's why.
Is it the Diamondbacks?
No, it's not.
Florida.
It's NL West. I'll give you NL West.
Padres.
Nope. Padres
Um,
have five.
now I'm just gonna start naming NL West teams. Now I can okay, let me pull back and think about this for a second here.
Yes.
What about so it seemed like the Dodgers seemed like a possibility, but they just introduced that blue road alternate.
Hmm.
A team steeped in tradition and uniforms could be San Francisco. I'm going to go San Francisco.
No, it's your hometown team, the Colorado Rockies.
Oh, Jesus, I should have known that. I just
They
think of
have
them
the,
as having a lot of
I
uniforms,
know,
right?
right? They have
Yeah,
white
yeah.
home, gray road, and purple alternate, and that's it.
Huh,
And they wear their purple alternate for spring training,
yeah.
and the City Connect doesn't count. So they're the
No,
only team that only has three officially designated uniforms.
Colorado Rockies. Well, and they're having
Colorado
a
Rockies.
better season this year than they were last year, so maybe they don't need to
It's
do
the lack
anything.
of uniforms, right?
Yeah.
They don't have to lift as much. They're not as tired.
Okay. But Chris, let's there's a couple other things going on right now. It is, the last couple of weeks, right? Like last week we had all those NFL uniforms. Week before that, we had all the City Connects. Like there's been a lot of news dropping sort of left and right here. So this was not as busy a week on the site, but there's still some things to talk about. Obviously that the
Hmm.
Yankees is a rich vein as always. But the Pac-12, I would say updated their logo. I wouldn't say that it is a new logo, but they definitely, well, let's just say they eliminated the gradient blend in the background there, so that's good news. And I don't know, I feel like they tidied it up a little bit.
They LA Ramsed it. That's what they did.
They ramsed it, they flattened it, they added some sharp edges. I, you know, I probably because I'm look. I'm not a huge college football guy necessarily, so I don't know if I would have even noticed it when I saw this, but I think it looks nice.
Yeah, and I mean, it's nothing to get excited about,
Yeah.
but it's a nice, I guess, evolution of a logo.
Hmm.
Getting rid of the gradients, making things sharper. I like that the A is the mountain peak and all that. There's really not much to say about it. It's not a bad logo. It's a nice logo. I like how they worked the letters into the shield and all that. Updated the font to the 12, got rid of the gradients. It's fine. And I'm pretty sure the reason why they did this, without me looking up their inspiration or anything, is just to make it so they can create different colored versions for each of the member teams. It's really easy to do that when your logo is flat
Hmm.
rather than having to work with a gradient. So yeah, it's an update that makes sense. It's hard to imagine anyone would have a problem with this logo update because it's so non-consequential.
Hmm.
Hopefully I used that word right. I don't know.
I
Uh,
think so.
yeah. So I mean, like, it's such a non-story. It also shows you how slow of a week it's been that we're spending this much time
Right, right.
on a mild sharpening and degradienting, which will forever be known as an LA Rams update.
Yeah, right. It's the LA Rams. Whenever you sharpen and flatten a logo and get rid of those gradient blends, that's you've just LA Ramsed it.
If I ever get
Maybe
plastic surgery, Paul, I'm gonna get the LA Rams surgery. I'm gonna get sharpened and I'm gonna get flattened.
maybe I care about this, Chris, because just a mile and a half from my home here in Fort Collins, Colorado, is the Colorado State Rams, and
Okay.
they are a member of the Pac-12 because Colorado famously is on the Pacific Coast.
Pacific Coast, that's right. Well, and there you go. So there's a Rams in the Pac-12, so it all makes sense. We've tied
That's
it all
right.
together.
They CSU Ramsed it.
Nice.
Well, as you point out, that's probably more time than this rebrand
Deserves.
deserves. But if you want to read about it, people can go check out that article eventually. It's not up yet at the time of this recording, but I'm
It
guessing
will be up. Andrew's working on it right now. Don't worry.
it'll be freshly posted on the brand new mobile site for
Oh,
SportsLogos.Net. Yeah, it's
I like how you work that in there.
I am Mr. Segway, Chris. It used to be that Job Bluth was Mr. Segway, but I am Mr. Segway now. The new mobile site looks great. I thought I would throw that in there just because like I was checking comments on the articles that I write as I do sometimes, and and I loaded it up and I was like, oh man, look at this! I love the images going all the way out to the edge of the page, and it's a much cleaner, easier experience
Thank you.
right
This
now.
is
So
something that I had wanted to do for years,
yeah,
but I couldn't figure out how to turn a 30-year-old website, a site that's like really old in terms of
yeah,
its code, and how to convert it into a mobile version. And finally, I just sat down and said, "Okay, we're doing it. How are we going to do it?" And
yeah,
I did it. And
yeah.
yeah, it makes the whole experience a lot easier. I've spent the last couple of weeks doing it, and I find myself just going to the site on my phone and just refreshing over and over again
Yeah,
because I just
right.
enjoy it so
Go
much.
check it out.
One thing I really spent a lot of time working on during this mobile thing is the whole new players logo section. And I don't know if I'm the only one who cares about this or not, but I really love the players logo section where you pick up a player, a significant player in league history,
Oh,
and it'll show you every logo they played under, every ball cap they wore if they're a baseball player, every football helmet, the different jersey logos and scripts they wore, and their stats under each logo. So you can see for which logo they were the most productive. And it's a good way for those in the Baseball Hall of Fame field to find out
mm,
what logo should be on a player's cap based on
wow.
statistics and tenure and all that. So
Think of the effect that could have, Chris. Is someday the Hall of Fame is going to reach out to you and be like, "Well, this site SportsLogos.Net says this, so we think the hat should be that," and you could be like, "Oh yeah, that's my site."
we already disagree on a few things, the Hall of Fame and I. Andre Dawson should have an Expos logo.
For
Vladimir
real.
Guerrero should have an Expos logo. Roy Halladay should have a Blue Jays logo. It's
Does
yes,
does Roy Halladay have a Phillies logo?
he has no logo.
Oh. No, I agree. The Phillies rented him from the Blue Jays after he had already become a Hall of Famer, I think. I
Thank you
I,
very much.
I agree
And
with you
he's
that,
and he's on the record. He's on the record as saying,
yeah,
"I'll go in as a Blue Jay."
yeah,
And I don't fault the family. That's a hard decision to make
sure,
for them
sure,
to make in that situation too. And I'm
yeah,
sure it was. I'm sure it was. We don't know. Should we be Blue Jays or Phillies? And the Hall of Fame's like, you could do blank. And they
yeah.
probably thought, you know what? Let's just do that.
Mm.
And now we have a blank logo. It was the only opportunity we would have had to have the black Jays logo on a Hall of Fame plaque.
I don't think Phillies fans would have begrudged Blue Jays fans if he had gone in as a Blue Jay. I think they knew he was already a Hall of Famer by the time he got to Philadelphia.
Well,
And
I think he played in Toronto like more than twice as many
yeah,
seasons and games as he did in
yeah.
Philly. It just
I mean, he did some amazing things with the Phils, right? They had the perfect game and the
absolutely.
playoff no hitter. And so, like, I mean, um,
This is what I as a Canadian baseball fan, Paul. It's hard for me to accept that Vladimir Guerrero Sr. and Roy Halladay both got into the Hall of Fame, and neither of them wore an Expos or Blue Jays logo on their cap.
I
What a
get it.
shame.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's difficult, Chris. I can see why that would be hard as a Blue Jays fan, and I don't know if I have a similar, like if there's a Philly in the Hall of Fame who went in under another logo. It would have been like if Lenny
Ryan
Dykstra.
Sandberg,
Oh, Ryan Sandberg, right? Yeah. Jeez. He should have gone in as a Philly. He started his career there.
right?
It would have been like if Lenny Dykstra had gotten into the Hall of Fame and gone in as a Met instead of a Philly. That would have hurt. So
He had some good times in New York as well.
he had some good times in Wayne, Pennsylvania, where I grew up, where he wrapped his car around a tree in my neighborhood. Did you know that? That was in
I did,
my that could be my where were they?
but I have a feeling it's not.
No, it is not, Chris. All right, Chris. Do you know how goldfish
Hmm.
will grow to the appropriate size of the tank that they live in? And they're not going to outgrow it, but they will grow as big as the tank that they're in allows. I feel like our conversations around the week's news will grow to the length that the podcast allows here. So even though it was a dry week, we found a lot to talk about this week,
I
Chris.
was wondering where you're going with that. Why are we talking about goldfish? Is this a minor league alternate identity, perhaps?
There are no minor league goldfish identities that I know of, but that does remind me that one of these days we got to do that minor league baseball quiz. You're going to quiz me
We
on
do.
identities.
You are getting quizzed. Yeah. Well, first of all, if Dan Simon or the boys at Brandios are listening, we need a goldfish identity in minor league baseball right now.
I have it on good authority that at least one of those individuals is listening to this podcast right now.
All right. Well, whichever one of those individuals is listening right now, goldfish.
I'll give you a hint. He designed the Savannah Bananas logo.
I know who you're talking about.
Hi, Dan.
Simon says, "Hi, Dan."
Nicely said. Okay, Chris, now that we're talking about minor league baseball logos, I don't want you to start the timer on me before I'm ready. So we
I'm
should
gonna have to
cue this
reset
up.
it.
I don't know. It is time for the minor league minute. I want to point out that minor league, I use the term minor league lowercase to encompass not just affiliated baseball, of course, but all of the community level baseball from collegiate summer all the way up to AAA in the affiliated
Mhm.
leagues. So,
I
minor
think
league,
that's fair.
yeah,
Yes, that's fair.
they are the minor leagues because they're not the major leagues, but they are not to be confused with capitalized minor league baseball, which is just the affiliated ones.
Okay, so I have my finger on the stopwatch,
Okay.
start stop button, whatever it's called, and I also have my finger on the your shock collar. So don't you dare go over a minute. Whenever you are ready, I will hit the button. Paul Caputo, beep bop boop, minor league minute, go.
Chris, we have already mentioned the Madison Mallards on this episode, collegiate summer level team in the Northwoods League. They have a habit of kind of breaking the internet with their alternate identities. They created a Neverminds brand that had their mascot with the naked baby, naked wiener, literally a wiener, because it was a hot dog. Last year, they had the Chris Farley themed motivational speakers. They're back at it, Chris. They have a Big Lebowski themed alternate identity, The Dudes, created by Kyle Chisholm and Brent Bartels with the team. And they have created this brand that not only has a Big Lebowski, Jeff Lebowski, swinging an oversized bowling pin like a baseball bat. He's wearing his robe. He's got his shorts and sandals on. The uniform, Chris, evokes the stuff that he would wear. They've got like the crazy patterned pants. They've got the shirt that he wears, and they're going to be serving White Russians at the ballpark. Chris, the dudes from the Madison Mallards. That's this week's minor league minute.
Amazing. You know what? And this logo really ties the whole identity together.
I would love to go back and see which line from the movie got the most play. I think ties the room together is the one that we saw the most, like in the comments as I was reviewing it. But man, there's so many good lines from that movie, right? Like here's the infuriating thing, Chris, because I interviewed them. Those two gentlemen are quoted in the article on the website, and one of them was 1 year old when that movie came out. The other had not
Oh.
yet been born, so he was watching the movie thinking that's where that line is from.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will point out, and related to your story there, last week we talked about how I was dreading the fact that I was asked to host this Hall of Fame
Oh
thing
yeah.
in my town. So that happened.
Yeah.
And they said I did good. They said I can come back next year. But I did get a big groan out of the audience when I was introducing a team. They were inducting a team that had won the championship in 1981, and I thought it'd be nice if I got the coach to induct the team
Yeah.
instead of myself. And I said, you don't need me. Why should I induct this team? This team won the championship before I was even born. And the audience went, "Oh!" And I could hear like the collective groan of everyone realizing that their host for the evening, with salt and pepper hair and beard, wearing glasses, is
Is
younger than their championship season.
now, were you intending to be spiteful about that, or was it
That was
just
that was an ad lib. That was just I was just looking. I was like, how am I? Why? What should I say to say that I'm not worthy of this? That's kind of funny. And I
that?
thought 1981. I wasn't even born in 1981, so why should I do it? Yeah, but I won them right back over when I said, "Let's get the coach up here," and they all stood up and cheered.
That's great. Well,
It was quite the night, and I'm gonna dread it when it happens again.
yeah.
But the town crier said my name wrong during the introductions and everything.
How did they say your name wrong?
They said Craig Creamer.
Oh no.
Craig.
I get
Chris is
Phil.
more common.
Yeah,
You
right.
you get Phil.
I get Phil all the time, perhaps because I'm always talking about the Phil E's, but yeah,
Hey,
I get called Phil Caputo all the time.
Mr. Caputo.
Yes, Chris.
I want to know where you were when Ryan Howard hit 3 home runs
This is
back in
another
2006. This is just random. Hold on. Randomly. I just started thinking, I was watching The Office and I thought, hey, there's a character named Ryan Howard in Pennsylvania.
yeah.
So, and I believe he hit 3 home runs on September 3rd, 2006. And I
Well,
thought, hey, where was Paul when that happened?
let's make this then, Chris, since you've asked the question. Let's make this our Where Were They segment. And I will tell you where I
What a
was
great idea. Sure.
on September 3rd, 2006. This was a historic moment in Philadelphia Phillies history where Ryan Howard, it was the day that Ryan Howard hit 3 home runs, the first of which was his 50th, the record setting single season home run mark for the Philadelphia Phillies. It was his 50th home run, and then he hit 51 and 52 right after that, and on his way to hitting 58, which still stands as the record. Kyle Schwarber made a run at it last year, but still stands as the record. 58 home runs. We've mentioned before, maybe, or maybe we've just talked about it off air, that my brother is a fancy lawyer in Philadelphia and has had, over the years, he still has really great season tickets. But at one point in his career, he worked for this firm that had tickets that were 4 rows behind home plate. And you would go to the game and you were on TV with every single pitch. And, this was 2006, 20 years ago. The Phillies are currently in last place, tied with the Mets, and just lost 2 consecutive series to the Braves, winning 1 out of 6 games, or maybe even 7 games. So I wanted to remember slightly better times. This was a game against the Atlanta Braves. Ryan Howard hit those 3 home runs. Harry Kalas was on the call back then. It was
Mm.
2006, so the iconic Harry Kalas. And so that gets played a lot, right? Like when we're recapping Ryan Howard, like when we're talking about his career with the Phillies, you see those home runs a lot. And every time they come up, I'm on TV sitting
Oh,
there with my brother at the baseball game. Like you see me, and on all three of them, this was before like cell phones, right? Like, so thank God there's like no danger that I'm like looking at my phone when Ryan Howard hits these home runs. And you see like all three times, you see me sitting there, and then my head like jerks to whatever direction he hit the home run, right? Like, so it was a great day for me as a Phillies fan. It was really fun to be there. It was, right before that Phillies team went on that run of division championships. And of course, right before they won that 2008 World Series. So that is where I was, 4 rows behind home plate when Ryan Howard set the single season home run mark for the Philadelphia Phillies.
that's a great story. And that you are now a part of for history forevermore.
Right.
Paul is in the background of that shot. I have absolutely zero memory of Ryan Howard hitting 3 home runs in one game. While you were telling that story, I searched my Google Photos to find out what I was doing September 3rd, 2006. And it appears I was testing out a new camera, taking photos of random stuff around the house, doing absolutely nothing of value. But this is why I wanted to do the Where Were You?
Yeah.
The exact same moment in time.
Yeah.
And you were you were becoming a part of history.
Yeah.
And I was just fiddling with a camera.
The Phillies did end up winning that game. I don't remember the specifics of that. Really, all I remember is those 3 home runs. I remember that the Phillies won. It was the first game of a doubleheader, and they lost the second game of the doubleheader because, as you know, the Phillies have never won both games of a doubleheader in their entire 140-year history.
That can't possibly be true. I do know that they've given up, what, 500,000 hits or whatever the 200,000
200,000
runs?
hits. Yes, I was there for the 200,000th hit that they gave up in Colorado. It just feels like they've never won both games of a doubleheader. Like it's just like it's amazing how often they have split doubleheaders in my lifetime. So
If it makes you feel any better, my team's never won all games of a triple hitter. Does that
how
make you feel
many?
better?
It does a little bit. Have you
Okay.
ever been to two baseball games at two different ballparks in the same day?
Oh, I like this question.
Yeah,
No, I've been to two different sporting events. I've been to a baseball game and a hockey game in the same day, and I've been to a football game and a hockey game in the same day.
I
But
like
I've
that.
never been to I've been to two baseball games because I saw a rare doubleheader at Skydome, which is
Yeah,
very rare.
yeah.
But I've never been to two games in two stadiums on the same day. It sounds like something you could do in minor league baseball or spring training.
I've done it once in spring training, and I did it once in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. I went to a St. Paul Saints game and a Minnesota Twins game on the same day,
Were
and
they
that was
affiliates back then?
this was right after they became the AAA team for the Twins. So it was I didn't get to see the super wacky like Bill Murray St. Paul Saints. I got to see the more sort of buttoned up AAA St. Paul Saints. Even though they said that wasn't going to happen, it happened.
So it's like you went up the ladder of the team
Yeah.
as just
Although
as
we
a
went
minor
down
league
the
player
ladder,
did.
we saw a Twins afternoon
Oh,
game and then we saw a Saints evening game.
I feel like that's more accurate for
Yeah.
us. We would probably get sent down rather than called up.
Let me tell you, Chris, I ate a lot of ice cream that day.
And collected a lot of ice cream
There were
Sunday helmets.
There were helmets to be had. And while I don't really wear gear from other major league teams, I will wear any minor league gear. I don't wear gear from other major league teams for the most part in my life. I did have to get myself one of those Minnie and Paul t-shirts. The
Oh,
old Minnie and Paul logo is just such a classic.
there are certain teams that it's okay to wear. Like I'll always wear a Brewers shirt, even though I'm not a Brewers fan, and I don't mind cheering. Like I'll wear Royals, I'll wear Twins. There's just some teams that are inoffensive to me as a fan of an American League East team. I
Right.
have no ill will towards the Padres, for
Yeah.
example. I'll wear a Rocky shirt. I have Phillies stuff, Brave stuff, maybe not. Dodger stuff, certainly not. Yankee stuff, I'd rather be dead. But
Right. I'm never going to wear Mets or Braves. I have some Mariners stuff, like the Mariners. I don't know how that sits with you as since you've battled with the Mariners a little bit recently, but
I
uh,
have a Mariners cap right over here. I'm good with
see,
them.
that's
We're cool.
yeah.
We're expansion cousins. We get along.
Chris, we've obviously there's always going to be stuff to talk about. Next week we're going to be back with the big 1-0, Chris. The big 1-0 next
Yeah.
week.
Got a patch and everything. Is it 10th anniversary, 10th episode, 10th season?
It's 10th
Uh
episode, 11th episode anniversary.
11th episode of first. Let's just say it's episode 10. I'm already
Okay.
uncomfortable. Oh, beep bop, boop boop. All right, Paul. It was a pleasure chatting with you again, and good luck editing this episode because we are all over the place.
I am going to edit this during a fit of rage with the Phillies game on because I'm sure they'll be losing their 12th out of 13 games or 13th out of
Yes,
14 games.
I want you to hate edit.
Channel 3, I'm going to hate edit. Chris, we are out of time for that Bridgeport Islander story. We'll get to that next time. We'll see you next week.
See you later, Paul. See you later, everybody.